XRM Grid Control by ForgeXRM is a powerful yet easy to configure tool that extends Microsoft's out-of-the-box grid capabilities. With its intuitive point-and-click configuration, users of all levels can design advanced grids that empower users and boost productivity. For developers, advanced customization options, including a robust API, allow for the creation of powerful, tailor-made grids that enhance efficiency and drive innovation across your organization. XRM Grid can be added to model-driven apps in forms, views, dashboards, and more. In this example, we'll illustrate how we can surface multiple levels of related data onto a single page, increasing user productivity with more efficient data management. In this scenario, Greenway Property Solutions is a property management company that oversees buildings across various campuses. Each building accommodates a mix of office spaces and apartment units. The buildings grid is configured to display each building and its location, and each building is grouped by the associated campus it belongs to. It also shows the number of buildings per campus, with the total number of buildings being displayed in the grid footer. The building units grid to the right of the buildings grid has been configured as a dependent grid. Dependent grids can significantly enhance user efficiency by streamlining the process of viewing and updating related information. Let's select the Vanguard Tower 1 building. We now see all the individual units in the building, along with the unit details such as square footage, price per square foot, availability, and lease expiration dates. There are multiple configuration options for information updates, such as editable inline rows, launching a CRM form, or even a custom page. The building units grid has been configured for inline row edits. Simply double-click on the row to start editing. We can also edit multiple rows at once. XRM Grid offers various configuration options that determine its behavior when adding new records. For example, the building units grid is configured to create new records in line, allowing for quick and easy data entry without having to open a new window. For scenarios where a CRM form might be more appropriate when adding new records, we can simply configure this as an option. Let's switch to the XRM Grid Configuration console. Here, we see the grid configuration for the building units grid. Let's change the behavior for creating new records, from create inline to use a CRM form. And instead of opening the main CRM form, which is the default, let's enable the CRM Quick Create form and use that instead. Now, we just need to save and publish our changes. Clicking the New button on the building units grid now opens the Quick Create form, providing an additional option for adding new records. XRM Grid is highly configurable with easy-to-use point-and-click options. Each grid has a corresponding configuration record that defines its behavior. These are stored in standard Dataverse tables. There are numerous configuration options readily available at your fingertips. Let's take a look at the building units grid and illustrate additional configuration options. In the row functionality section, we define the functionality and behavior of rows and toolbar buttons. In the columns section, we define the grid columns displayed and can further define each column's unique behavior. In the display options section, we define the grid presentation and various display options. In the sort field section, we define a primary and secondary sort, if applicable. On the Grouping tab, we can define grouping and aggregation, including multi-level grouping and specific behavior for each group. On the Additional Options tab, we enable specific features and more advanced settings. The Criteria tab is a more advanced setting, providing the ability to build more advanced filter criteria than what might be available in model-driven apps, or it can also be used for third-party integrations with systems outside of Dataverse. On the Custom Events tab, we can add custom JavaScript events using XRM Grid's API. You can even preview your grid configuration before publishing by selecting the Preview button. Additionally, each grid configuration can be copied. This can help you accelerate the building of new but similar grids, saving you time and ensuring consistency. Grids can also be exported for convenient deployment to other Dataverse environments. Let's take another look at Greenway Property Solutions and the buildings they manage. This time, our primary group is based on the building record. And for each building, we now see a roll-up of the square footage and total monthly lease amounts. I can expand the building to see the associated units and related unit details, including the current tenant, lease term, and expiration. Since the monthly lease amount is a calculated column, it will automatically calculate the new monthly lease based on any changes to the price per square foot. With dynamic grouping, we can quickly change how we organize information in the grid. To update our grouping, select the wrench in the upper right-hand corner of the grid. Let's group by campus, then by building, then status, and set how each group is summarized. Now looking at our grid, we can see how multi-level and nested groups provide different dimensions of related information for deeper visibility and easier information updates, all on the same page. Built-in filter panels are another configuration option that can turn your data into interactive dashboards. Here, we have configured a grid for sales pipeline management. The built-in filter panel allows us to quickly filter the data in our sales pipeline grid. It also illustrates how we can include XRM grids within Dynamics 365 and Power Apps dashboards. Filter panels are easy to configure and dynamically rendered based on a few configuration clicks. For more advanced filter panels, custom HTML web resources can be utilized with the XRM Grid API for even more possibilities. Multi-currency and currency conversion is another feature that can be useful for global organizations. Notice that Joe Smith's opportunities are all in euros. However, the estimated revenue subtotal is in US dollars, since US dollars is my user's default currency. This could be helpful for a US-based company that reports sales revenue in US dollars, but manages a global sales organization where non-US sales offices report revenue in their local currency. We can also click the scale icon and select a different currency to view totals in. This doesn't change the actual currency value on the opportunity record, and I can select any currency that is available in my Dataverse environment. Another useful feature is the pop-out button. This allows us to move our grid to its own window. Not only does this provide more screen space to work with, But the grid can remain open, allowing you to work in other areas of the system. Whether it is in a form, dashboard, or even in its own window, ForgeXRM Grid Control provides the same functionality and user experience. ForgeXRM Grid Control is a powerful yet simple to configure tool that extends Microsoft's out-of-the-box grid capabilities, unlocking the value of your data and driving productivity across your organization. To learn more about XRM Grid and the Microsoft Power Platform, visit ForgeXRM.com or reach out to us at info@ForgeXRM.com.